custom stream. I cannot believe that we are on episode 148 already. That is absolutely incredible. And I love Monday mornings. And we have a huge panel right now, too. So let's go ahead and say hello to everybody in the panel. One of my favorite things to do, of course, is to be able to say hello to all my friends. It's been a week. Oh, my God, it's been a week. We're going to start with Jim. Jim Samard from Canada. He runs his very own Care Printing and Publishing, and he is a official sponsor for ClearProp TV and PPG Grandpa's Paramotor podcast. What's going on, Mr. Jim, and your maple syrup spilling money?
Well, hey, we got the voting site for the PPG calendar all up and running, so everybody can go and vote for their favorite picks. You can vote for 3 each day. And that's going to go on until the 12th. So at midnight on the 12th will be the last day to vote. So make sure you go there, ppgcalendar.com, and vote for your favorite pictures. And there's some really cool pictures.
Okay.
The best way to do it is select one, and then you can just go through them all and look at them all in the big size.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Gotcha. And the 12th is next Monday. So we'll be able to remind you again on the 12th, which is Monday, to make sure you go to Paramotor Calendar or PPG Calendar or Paramotor Calendar.
ppgcalendar.com.
ppgcalendar.com to make sure you do your voting, at least your last voting. And what is that going to do for us, Jim?
You'll get to choose which pictures are going to be in the calendar this year.
Awesome. How many months are going to be in the calendar? Is it going to be 12 months or 18, or can we have a choice of either or?
It's going to be 12.
Okay.
No choice.
No choice. Darn it. All right.
At this time.
Okay. No choice. 12 months. And it's going to start, what, January?
Yes. Starts for January.
All right. How do we go ahead and buy those then, Jim?
Well, you'll see on that page that there is a spot there for ordered calendars.
Mm-hmm.
It's very simple. All you do is you tell us how many you want, you give us your address, and we'll print them up, send you a bill.
Awesome. Good deal. Well, thank you very much. Also, you do stickers and decals, right?
You betcha.
Good old decals. Everybody know what a decal is?
No. What is a decal?
Decal.
Oh,
That's how they say decals. They call them decals. I'm telling you, the things
and
that
I
you
thought
learn,
I was worldly.
the things that you learn, on a Paramotor podcast, right? You learn about a decal. Do you have aluminum or do you have aluminum?
We have aluminum up here.
All right, good deal. I guess that's just Europe. All right, so get up with you at carepp.com. Watch your flying shenanigans at careppg.com and vote on the calendar that's coming up at ppgcalendar.com. Yes?
You bet. Thank you.
Sweet. Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Tim, for being our official sponsor of PPG Grandpa's Perma podcast, ClearProp TV, and paratalk.org. We also got Will Fly from willflyppg.com. What's up, man?
Yo, what's going on? It's Monday night. My favorite show on Monday night at 8 p.m. I wouldn't miss it.
I heard that this is the #1 podcast on Monday nights.
Indeed it is. This is the place to be.
Absolutely. Now, you do a lot of really awesome videos. Have you done any videos, and have you done anything with your paramotorjustthetip.com?
Yes and yes, but mostly still working on the van. I touch a video every once in a while, do a little here, a little there, but as soon as the main distraction of the van gets taken care of, I'll be back on it.
And what is that actual .com?
It's willflyppg.com, or just go to YouTube and search for Will Fly.
What's the paramotor tip one?
Just the tip. Oh, paramotor tips. I still haven't done anything with that. Paramotortips.com.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about, is the paramotortips.com.
Yeah, I really should do something with that.
I know. I typed in just the tip, and that wasn't it. And
No.
No, that's
You
not me.
want to stay away from that.
that was not it. And once seen, you cannot unsee. I'm like, oh my God, what I walk in?
was Justin Tip was a vaping site for the drip tips for mods, but I guess they're gone now.
So anyway, thank you very much, Will. If you want to be on the spinning wheel of winning things, make sure you say hi to Will. We're going to spin the wheel once tonight, but I'm not going to tell you when. And he will get you on the spinning wheel of winning things. So thank you very much for doing that in the background. Also, if you have any questions, make sure you say something to Will, and he'll make sure that you get into the spinning wheel of winning things. We also got Paramom USA, our very own Linda Anderson with your pom-poms. Pom-pom it, there she goes.
Hey, everybody. Heard my voice tonight. I'm all like, head cold, whatever you want to call it. But, you know, you got to show up, right? You know, this is my team right here, and this is where I need to be on Monday night. Thank you all so much for hanging with us tonight and everybody listening. It's just awesome to be here, and I'm just going to be kind of chilling a little bit tonight, listen to you guys. Welcome, Shane. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And
Thank you for the invite.
it's going to be a great show. So
Absolutely.
on with the show.
Absolutely. If you want to be on the show or you want to be on the panel, make sure you get up with Linda Anderson. Just go to paramomusa.com. It forwards over to her Facebook page, and that way you can PM her and say, yo, I want to be on PPG Grandpa's Paramotor podcast. Thank you again, Linda, for everything you do. We also got Scuba Steve in the house. What's up, buddy? Good to see you.
How's it going?
Doing good. Any flying lately?
I want to fly by bad, but I got that whatever I got, whether it's a cracked rib, broke rib, I don't know. I want to fly, but there's no way I can run right now with that thing.
Well, we hope that you get better quickly, and don't forget your microphone was up by your ear.
Hey, Steve.
Oh, sorry.
Now we can see Scuba Steve. Well, thank you
Y'all,
very much.
you can hear me across the planet anyway without a mic.
With that mic right there, you're like the loudest one on the panel.
There
So
you
thank
go.
you. Thank you much for being there. Also got Joshua Marsh, PPG. You can always find him at PPG Josh, or is it Josh PPG? PPGJosh.com. That's it. And he helps us out too in the background. If you are a guest, he's the one that puts up all the videos and all the pictures and stuff while we're doing this. So give a big thanks to Joshua Marsh in the super chat for doing all the cool stuff that he does. We also got Chris Altmeyer in the background. He's going to be hanging with us. Welcome. Thank you for being there. But of course, it's not about me. It's not about the panel. It's about our guest. Tonight, we're going to be talking with Shane Collard, and he has an amazing story to tell. When he was flying, he's only been flying for about a year, but his wing collapsed and he dropped like 100 feet and survived. And he's going to tell us a story tonight. So welcome, Shane. Glad that you made it tonight.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Appreciate it a ton.
Absolutely.
Hey, I just had one quick to start off the show.
Yeah.
I just wanted to just shout out to Scuba Steve there. With that cracked rib, my doctor gave me something for my injuries, and it's called Triactin. Have you ever heard of it?
No.
It's fantastic stuff. I mean, it's just a pill form, kind of stuff, but it's called Triactin, and it'll take care of pretty much everything that you've got.
Oh, I
And
need
so
to
what
go
my
get
doc-
some then.
Yeah. What my doctor said is try acting like a man and buck up, little camper.
There you go. I knew something was coming out of this.
I just had to go for it.
That was a good one. I like that.
I know, right?
Here I was hoping I could go to my doctor and say, hey, give me some of this Triactin.
Oh, I've told a handful of people that, and I haven't let them in on the joke. I'm like, go to your doctor, get some Triactin for sure.
Is that anything like blinker juice?
Yeah, it is. It's a lot like that. All right, sorry, Steve. Thank you for having me, guys.
Is anything like having that ID 10T? All right.
That is a lot like that.
Favorite form.
Yep, that's my favorite form is the ID 10T. Well,
Yeah.
not me personally, but man, a lot of people deserve it, right? Here's your card. I think that's it. Here's your card. Here's your ID 10T. So, anyways, for the people out there that don't know Shane, do us a little bit of a favor. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how did you get into paramotoring?
A little bit about myself. I'm a dad. I love adventure. Have always had that in my blood. I took a paragliding class in in Salt Lake, up on the point of the mountain from Cloud 9, Steve Merritt, Cloud 9. And then I had a few hiccups with that. That was about 25 years ago, and just there were some hiccups with that, and felt like I wasn't ready mentally to fly. And so I backed out of learning how to fly after spending the money on the lessons and a harness, and then utilizing Cloud 9's wing in that. And then have lived. I've always had a little itch for to get back in the air, and life has put me in a position where I decided to take up the sport again. And I felt like paramotoring was an awesome fit for me, because I do a lot of overland travel, and to have that motor with me, be able to launch, in a variety of places instead of, on beaches, wherever you might with just a paraglider. I felt like that was a better fit. So had a lot of time and searched somebody down, or some locals down, and jumped into some classes and bought a wing, bought gear within just 5 minutes, and off to the races I went.
Awesome. Now, you said that in the pre-show that you've been to some fly-ins. What fly-ins have you gone to so far?
The most recent one was hosted by Southern Utah Paramotor down here in St. George, Utah. Great guys, Brad. He's a stud of a guy. But that one was one of the most exciting ones that I've been to. And then there was another one that I went to. It was down. I forget who hosted that one, but it was another one that was down here. I tried to make it to Salton Sea, but my leg just wasn't allowing me to make that happen. So I didn't get down there, and but I am gonna make sure I make it to the Salton Sea coming up, I believe, in February.
Okay, we're looking at some really nice pictures on here. It looks like it's your
Oh, thank-
Instagram.
Yeah, thank you.
For those of you that want to see his Instagram page, we do have the links down below. It's underneath his bio, so check out his Instagram. Also, too, we have his Facebook page, so make sure you go over and say hi to him on his Facebook page. You got a lot of interesting pictures on here. Can you see the pictures since you're on your phone right now?
Yeah, absolutely. That's my right there. That picture that you're looking at is one of my trips to Baja right there, and that's my squirrel Rocky. Actually, yeah,
You have a
that
pet
was
squirrel?
Rocky. I've had a multitude. Once you save one squirrel, everybody finds out, and then any squirrel that drops out of the tree, they decide they want to call you to rescue it and save it. So I've had multiple pet squirrels, and have that last one I was able to release, and he's up north and hanging out in our neighborhood. I can always tell it's him because he's fat as shit.
You're like the squirrel whisperer.
Oh man, they're fun to have, but they're a pain. They are a pain.
That's funny.
Well,
Yeah.
I know at the very beginning of this, I said that you fell out of the sky 100 feet and hit. You're okay, but you had lots of injuries. Can we go through what happened that day and kind of walk through what was going on in your head, what happened, before, during, and after?
You bet. I'll try to throw it on the cliff notes, because I could probably talk about it for hours on end. But
Well, we got an hour podcast, so at least an hour sounds good to me.
yeah. So well, if my wife was watching, or yeah, my wife was watching, she'd be shaking her head going, "Oh my God, that story again." So but yeah, the gist of it is I chose to fly the night before. I checked a handful of radars and spots to assure, it's October down here, it's prime flying weather. We do have kind of some tumultuous, winds that can pop up, and so you have to always be wary of those. But I checked the night before. I checked the morning of. I woke up a little bit late, But our normal fly time down here is anywhere from midsummer. You try to reach out a little early in the 6:37 range. But this time of year, it's an 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock, no problem. Launch. And so I chose to fly. I took off from actually not even. I chose to take off from a parking lot that because I had nil wind at me, and I was like, okay, well, no big deal. I'll just park my truck and fire it up and go. And so it was actually a road and where houses were going up, so it was pretty wide open. And I hit right before launch. I took a phone call where I live down here in southern Utah. I live fairly close to it's called the Sand Hollow and sand dunes and a lake and that. And so I took a phone call from his name is Luke Weiss, and he was one of my 18-year-old son, one of his friends that comes down here quite frequently by himself to practice motocross or desert cross. And so he called me and said, "Oh, Shane, I got my truck stuck. Can you come try to get me out with your overland truck?" And I'm like, "Well," I told him, I said, I'll do it, but I'm taking off right now. And so I took off. I started flying, and then I ended up choosing to circle around to go to the Sand Hollow area where he was stuck at, where I knew he was stuck, and get an aerial view to try to find him so that I could, I could creep my truck back wherever he was. There's a lot of ins and outs going up into the sand dunes there. And so I just wanted to find the easiest route to get to him fast after I landed, and ended up, getting bumped around just a little bit on my way over there after about maybe 15-20 minutes in the air. Getting bumped around a little bit. No problem, nothing too scary. I crossed over a housing development where I was thinking, okay, those bumps, may just be, a thermal or something, from that. Dropped down onto the lake, and the lake was dead calm. And came up and over the dam, and got about maybe, I don't know, it's probably at least a good quarter mile away from where I crossed the dam, quarter mile to maybe even a half mile. And I looked down and I noticed that my ground speed was crazy fast for me, which was like probably in the 50 mile an hour zone. And so I dipped down low. I went up high, and just to see where I was getting bumped with that, and trying to think my way out of out of the way, think my way out of what I was going to do and how I was going to handle it. And then ended up getting to be about 150, 200 feet, right in that range of altitude, and making a hard full throttle right turn because I had a tailwind, and so I pulled into it, and now I had a headwind that was just allowing me to barely creep. And I was getting bumped again. I dropped down, tried to drop down low, and I wasn't getting real far out, lady. And I had a golf course in front of me. My intent was to drop down on the golf course, one of the links there, and just land it, pack up, and get out of there. No big deal. And I missed the last link, and so I had a lot of desert in front of me, and ended up saying, okay, well, I'll just land in the desert. And so I eased off the throttle a little bit, trying to drop in elevation, and noticed that I wasn't dropping. And so I just kind of kept an easy throttle on, but I was getting bumped, and I got about 200 yards past, into the desert, and I got hit with what I want to call an upward rotor, because at the same time that, I got hit to a point where I felt like I was in upward free fall, and looked up to see my wing 100% collapsed and lines coming in my face. And before the lines hit my face, because I had a split second to think, I had thrown the throttle to try to push me out of it and possibly reinflate, along with pulling my brakes to try to reinflate that way in some fashion. And at that point in time, I was already dropping and just split second. I had to basically I knew I was hitting the ground, and so I literally, as soon as I pumped my brakes, I looked down, the ground was coming quick. I killed my motor, brought up my appendages in, and just took the hit out. Sorry, dog's bugging me. She wants to play.
Totally understand. My dog always wants to play.
Yeah. So
Tell us what you broke again.
So my list of broken bones were my left radius and ulna, dislocated the elbow, broken left femur, broken hip, 4 ribs on the left side, 1 rib on the right side, broken scapula, 1 thoracic vertebra, and contused lungs, liver, and kidney.
Holy smokes.
It was, it was crazy. It was
So,
crazy.
and this was October of last year?
October, of 21.
So have you flown since then, or what have you done this last year? How long did it take to heal?
I have, I was only, this is crazy, but I kept breaking. The funny portion of it is, I guess, is they were giving me so much drugs, right about that point, right there, after my leg dropped down from being so swollen. I ended up getting up and putting weight on it and rolling myself around. But I ended up, I was so high from the drugs and everything else that I ended up breaking out of the hospital 3 separate times. So truthfully, I only spent 12 days in the hospital in total,
Now,
because I kept breaking out.
did the doctor write on your leg, or was that your wife? I'm just wondering, because
The yes?
Did she? Yeah, the yes. Because they put yes and no.
Yeah, that's the surgeon.
The surgeon did it. Okay, because
Yeah,
I know
the surgeon.
some wives will go in there and put no. Don't mess with this leg. It's the other one.
Yeah, no, that was the doctor. That was the surgeon that had gone in and marked that up. So my leg was
That
crazy
break was
massive.
That was something serious. Yeah, that looked bad.
So Shane,
It was bad, but it wasn't that bad. I mean, it was another pilot from down here, literally a year earlier, he did the same thing. His name is Jeff Hunt. He's another pilot from down here, and I've only got to meet him once, but a great guy. But he got the bad end of the stick. He got the same femur break, but he is still fighting, unfortunately, with that break, because mine was really clean and his was pretty broken up there. And so, I mean, like I said earlier, I've got to be insanely thankful for everything that happened, and that I'm back on my feet and back flying and back, enjoying my life, at about 80% of what I did previous to the accident.
so Shane, you fell from about 100 feet into
About just shy of like 90 feet.
okay.
And that was based on my air, my controller there, that's kind of said this, and then a straight line to the ground.
Okay.
You know,
And
I've seen something like this happen in person a year, maybe 2 years ago now, and very similar. He was turning. He was about the same height, close to the ground, and as soon as he turned, as soon as he turned upwind is when the collapse took place. and pretty much the same, similar injuries, not quite as severe as yours, but there were some similarities. So, I mean, when something like this happens, obviously it's got to affect your, how you think about flying, maybe rethink things or whatever. So I guess the question is, how long after this happened did you want to fly? And then how long was it that it took between you actually flying? I know you said you flew, so how long, what was the time in between?
That's a great question. So I mean, I had visions of grandeur. I've always been hey, let's do it. Let's get after this shit. Let's make it happen today. And so I think Brad teased me because I think I quoted a 6-week time frame after my accident that I was going to be back flying. And everybody laughed at that, and but I was serious. And so I had visions of grandeur, but I think it was just at the 6-month mark that I actually got back into the air. And it's because I felt my body was strong enough. I think at that 6 week, if my body felt strong enough, my mind would have let me go up. But it was really close to that 6-month mark where I ended up making it happen with a limp in my leg and with pain in my leg and that 280. I'm not going to say that I'm in love with it, but that tornado, but with my size, it's got a lot of power, and so I don't have to take a ton of steps in order to get off the ground, even with nil wind. And so, but it's a little crazy because previous to this, I forgot what fear was. And now that I'm back in the air, I've got a very, very healthy fear. Every bump scares me still to this minute. I mean, right before October when I left, I was flying, trying to get my feet wet, so to speak, flying a lot more than what I had normally. And right before my October Egypt trip, I ended up, it was only maybe, I was having problems. I sent you guys a video, but one of the videos that I sent was, I don't know if you saw it, but was a dark video for most of it. And then, but I had a motor out like the week before as I was crossing some big sandstone walls down here in Snow Canyon. I was right above them, and I ended up having like my 3rd motor out after my accident. My motor just was giving me problems, and so I've gained a very healthy fear of being up in the air, and it's widened my vision of how I'm flying, how I fly, and what to do and what not to do,
so you obviously are flying more cautious now. Do you think that since October, or when you started back flying again, that you've relaxed any, or every day that you fly now, you still have that same jitter feeling like something could happen at any second?
I finally, so even with the motor outs before October, it was only that few weeks ahead of that was the first time that I felt myself relax and enjoy the flight again. I'm definitely a worse pilot than I was before, because I'm a lot more rigid, and my turns, my turns are a lot less aggressive. I was doing some fairly awesome wing overs, some fun wing overs and things like that before. Now I'm not doing it. That picture right there that you just saw was the only picture I've got of me being on the ground, and that's my "am I gonna die" face, because my helmet got knocked off and I had my GoPro on there, and for some reason I was worried about that my battery was going to die on my GoPro, so I reached over and I hit the button, and I was looking at the button. So that was the only picture of me on the ground right there from my GoPro.
I'm sure people are wondering, it's like, do you have footage? I mean, you fly with a GoPro.
I wish I did. I had said earlier, I filmed going over the water because there was a huge flock of ducks that were, I was a couple of feet off the water of the lake, and there were ducks in front of me, and I wasn't changing course. Was just gonna let them be there, and so I've got a little bit of footage there. And then as soon as I crossed the dam, I felt like it was just boring footage, and was concerned about my battery and concerned about the amount of video the GoPro was taking, and so I reached up and clicked the video off.
So did you land in the sand dunes?
I landed in the desert, so which has sand. It's covered in sand, sage, and rocks.
Okay. So was
So
it pretty hard?
no, it was well. I mean, it's sand. It's sand and desert, and so I mean, it definitely could have been a lot worse. I didn't hit cement. I didn't hit that. I hit a patch of sand and just that, some sand and rock.
How did you land?
This is a crazy thing too. And this is kind of interestingly crazy, I guess, on how mind works. But my brothers and I, we had some ridiculous talk. I've got two older brothers, and we had some ridiculous talk, and this is probably 25, 30 years ago, of how to land. If you ever, my brother is a pilot on American Airlines, and we had this conversation that a long time ago that how would you land if you had to jump out of a plane so that you would have the least amount of impact on your body? Because if you land straight like this, you're just going to crush everything. But if you land flat this way, you're going to still die. And we, for some reason, we came up with that you've got to land sideways like this so that your body folds and takes the impact. And that was probably your highest probability. And for some reason, that, I have no idea. I haven't even thought about that throughout paragliding or paramotoring. But for some reason, that went in my head, which led me to go like this with my body from being this way to killing my motor and bringing my arms in and taking a shoulder basically to take that hit. And that's how I landed. I landed exactly like this. My cage took a big hit, and everything on the left side of my body.
Good for you for not giving up after something like that. I know each person's different, and some people that if they have a crash like that, they're done. I'm done with the sport. Good for you for getting back out there and just basically conquering your fear now, because after that happens, it instills in your mind, hey, this can happen, but that can happen anywhere, motorcycle wreck, car crash. So, good for you though.
Yeah, I've got a scenario for that. If you're going to be dumb, you better be tough.
Yes.
Just kidding.
They say that if you don't have a video, or if you didn't get video of something, that it didn't happen. But
Yeah,
I think with all your injuries, we're going to give you a pass on this one.
I appreciate that.
We got pictures of him with his we got x-rays and everything. He's good.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
No, really, I did have a question though, because I was kind of thinking back. So this happened in the morning, you said, right around 8 a.m.
It did, yeah. I think I took off at just slightly like after 8.
And then what would you say the temperature was roughly?
I'll be honest with you. I would probably say in the 60s, maybe low 60s, 59 to 60.
And then sky condition, like sky cover, was it
Clear?
Okay.
Clear.
And how high are you above sea level where you are?
4,000.
Do you know what the winds were at the surface?
Winds were projected in everything that I saw. There was nothing over 6 miles an hour.
That was the surface? Did you check winds aloft also?
Yeah.
Yes, I did. Yeah, I mean, I generally do.
Well,
So-
yeah, I mean, so I guess what
I mean, it wasn't supposed to.
I'm trying to put the puzzle together a little bit.
Yeah, I have I've thrown it out to the like right when it happened, I threw it out to the paramotor community. One guy down here, his name is Vanya. He's actually self-taught. He's with Southern Utah Paramotor. He instantly reached out to me and was such a cool guy. He is very intellectual, where I'm very like, let's just do it, kind of guy. And so I really appreciated him calling, and he researched some stuff, and we talked about it, in depth, to try to find out, well, man, was it an upward rotor from this? Because there was I went in between this valley that's kind of known for some shitty winds. But again, man, it was October, and it wasn't supposed to, there weren't supposed to be winds that day. And here's another kind of weird fact, or I guess not a weird fact, but I happen to, I don't dive into all of the negativity of, hey man, this guy crashed, and this guy hit a wall, and this guy died. I try, I have emotional care for that, and hate to see it, but I don't want to dive into it. I don't like the negativity. But I happened to see, like 2 days ago, a article of a guy that died, a paramotorist that died here in our community, that hit the ground, and he was literally within less than a mile of where I was, up in that same area, which was a little weird, because he was in 2019. Jeff was this other guy was, I believe he was 2020, and then I was 21. So one a year, kind of in this vicinity of I don't know.
So
Anyways, I wish I could pinpoint it, but I'm not going to rule out. I originally said, oh man, this upward rotor wind hit me and my wing collapsed, and it was the wind's fault. And I wanted to point the direction in that regard. But then I got up in the air, and I'm like, I'm getting bumped, and I'm going, pulling my brakes as hard as I can, to try to just feel it. And I'm thinking, I kind of ran that back through my head and said, maybe that's what you did when you were getting bumped around, and you caused your own collapse.
I know that we talked about this on the pre-show.
Yeah.
So I already know the answer. Did you have a reserve, and have you ever taken an SIV course?
I did have a reserve. And I just to clarify on that one, I guess my train of thought was, instead of my habit, should I say, was I've never practiced throwing reserve, never at all. I just had it there, hoping that I never had to use it, kind of thing. And so that's my negligence, without a doubt. So I had one, but and in my accident, I was just it was react to try to save it, and as soon as I felt that I wasn't able to save it, I was hitting the ground. And so that was a little tough. That video right there was just shortly after my motor out over those cliffs to the right there. Anyways, but no, I have not taken a class. It is on my radar to take one. I feel like that kind of practice is just, I couldn't imagine, having that type of education available to me, and not and wanting to stay in the sport, and not taking advantage of it. I mean, that to me, I keep thinking of it. Yeah, I had a reserve, but I had never prepped to throw it. Was I even strong enough to pull it out and throw it?
did you think about it? Did
No,
you have time?
no, zero. Not even not even a blink of an eye did I have it. I had time enough to go like this, look up, see it, hit my throttle at the same exact time because I saw lines coming in my face, and my reaction was, don't get those lines in your prop. Throttle out of it and try to push that way and open it up. And at the same time, I was grabbing those brakes and yanking down on those brakes with a full throttle, and I saw nothing. And I went from this to looking down to see the ground coming at me to this, and I was hitting. It's all. Oh wait. Yeah, I mean, I wish I had a better explanation, a more educated explanation, but unfortunately, I don't.
Yeah, I think we got a bunch of questions for you in the chat, Will.
Yeah, so Bill H says, did you report the accident to the USPPA database?
No.
Yeah,
I felt
that's
like
awesome. What was that?
I'll be 100% honest here. I mean, again, this is part of my negligence as a new pilot. I wouldn't even have thought to do that.
Yeah, well, and it's something we talked about on actually last Tuesday. But the USPPA database of incidents and accidents is basically an anonymous way to report to the community what happened and the outcome and what you think caused it, the whole works, and it allows them to kind of get an idea of the trends of accidents. And so
yeah,
I definitely encourage you to do that. It's a real easy form to fill out too.
I've never even heard of that. And again, I'm a new pilot and have been kind of out of it I've been more rehabbing in the last 13 months. So, I think that's crucial I would love to know. I would give anything to have had a GoPro on or a 360 to be able to tell me exactly, did you cause this, Shane? Did you cause your own collapse? What did you do wrong so that you could have got yourself out of it, even at low elevation like that?
I really think that after you take an SIV course, I think you'll be able to come back and tell us in more depth what you really think happened. Because when you go to an SIV course, you collapse your wing, and you'll be able to see what happens when it uncollapses. And one of the things that we're taught is that if you do have a wing collapse, is that you pull your A's down, you recollapse it, then you let it up, and it opens up for you. And we've done that a couple of times in the SIV class. So you were what, a year into paramotoring when this happened?
Correct. I mean, I would even say less than a year
But you also had paragliding experience before.
I had minor paragliding experience. I had been, like I said, I took a paragliding course up in Salt Lake at the point of the mountain, and felt like at that point in time, I watched and had a few things happen to me that were so obvious that I just felt, I looked at myself and I said, you're mentally not ready to do this sport. And so I bowed out of it.
Okay.
John Wayne wants to know if it's possible that the lines did get caught in the prop or hung up on something.
I don't know. I honestly, I couldn't tell you that. I know that my lines were not cut, but I definitely had to replace the majority portion of my lines on my left side, which I mean correlates to a lot of them. But I replaced a lot of my lines, but none of them were cut completely. I have a 3-blade prop, and I only had to replace 1 blade out of the 3 from snapping. The other 2 didn't even touch.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So
Yeah.
I assume that you sent your wing to Cloud9 since that was in your description about Cloud9.
No, I did not.
Where did you send your wing to get it checked after the accident?
I didn't. It was a brand new wing. I had I inspected it with the people down here who I feel are the experts. And then in regards to the lines themselves, I ordered the lines and replaced them with somebody that had already that knew how to specifically do it and took the time to teach me.
Okay, interesting. Was there any more questions in the super chat that we missed, Will?
Now, the only other one that I could think of is we've already covered your gear. You climbed the Tornado, right? And your 28-meter. But what were your number of flights when this occurred, roughly?
I'll be honest with you. A lot of people will check that list off. I'm not one of those people. I enjoy the flight. I don't care about the number of flights, whether it's a 5-minute flight or a 2-hour cross flight. But I bet you. Well, let me put it this way: I had under 30 hours. No, under 35 hours is what it was, or like 2 hours. Because when I got back in the saddle, my hours only showed 32 hours, or right in that range. So, I mean, 30 or less flights. Let's go hour flights.
Yeah. Has there been any other incidents in that particular area similar?
In this geographical area?
Yeah.
In regards to
where your accident took place, have there been similar situations?
Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, 2019 there was a pilot that crossing the dunes, and I just saw this article, but 2019 there was a death from a pilot, unfortunately, that died less than a mile away from where I went down.
Oh,
And
I didn't realize it was the same. Okay, so that's the same location.
yeah, less than a mile from where I went down, there was I happened to see this from reading news reports, and it had a plat map, like a Google plat map, and it said, site of accident. And I looked at it in regards to where my accident was, and I would probably say that it's definitely less than a mile away. And there's nothing out there. It's sand dunes and desert. And then this other gentleman, Jeff, he had another accident, which was geographically in the same St. George area, if you would, St. George, Washington area. I mean, as the paramotor flies probably a 9-mile straight line to where he went down, and he luckily survived. So those are the few that I know. Well, I take it back. There's another guy that another gentleman just yesterday went down here. I don't know if you guys in the community have heard about that yet, but there was a gentleman that just, man, I was scared that it was a good friend of mine, that it was him, because we live right next to this gorge called the Virgin River Gorge, and there was a pilot. Don't 100% quote me on this one, and I won't mention a name, but I'm told that he was flying a speed wing and got into that. He was a very experienced paraglider pilot and was paramotoring and was on a speed wing. I don't even know yet exactly where he was. I'm told by EMS that he was in this one area near the gorge, where we're at, which is only 5-6 miles from where I'm at. And he went down yesterday with and he's got spinal injuries, they thought that he was paralyzed for a minute there, but it was just numbness. And but he's got some broken bones. So yeah, there's been a handful of injuries, here. I mean, like I said, the weird coincidence was just yesterday. So
Wow.
yeah. So prayers been out to that guy. He was sent here to Dixie Regional Hospital. And then my understanding is, and again, don't quote me on it, that he got transferred by helicopter to Las Vegas, to a hospital in Las Vegas that could better take care of him. But he's
Shane,
alive, and I know he's not paralyzed. Let's throw the hands up for that.
that's really good, really good to hear.
Yeah.
I was wondering though about your situation. You landed, you broken legs. How did you get rescued or get to the hospital? Like what happened after the accident?
So kind of funny because I was flying alone. I did have my phone on me, and I also had an emergency beacon on me that I had. But so I hit the ground, and I must have passed out. I must have been knocked out in some fashion because I woke up, and I remember myself groaning and really trying to breathe hard, like I was going, like trying to breathe and groan, and I was trying my damnedest to get like situated and rolled around enough to unhook my harness. But I was I remember a lot of pain as I would try to move. And so I ended up taking my phone out and calling, instead of calling EMS, I called here at my house. I had a Washington sheriff living with me, and he was moving from here in St. George, or the Hurricane area, to Texas. And so he was a little bit in between houses. His family was back there, and he was living here with me. And so I said, okay, well, I know if I call this guy, he will know exactly where I'm at. And so I chose to call him first instead of dialing 911, which again, I'm an idiot. But
I probably would have called my wife too before I called 911. So I mean, I understand. I mean,
yeah, so exactly. But I called him, and he's like, Shane, his name's Dave Kraus. And so I called him, and he said, Shane, he says, I left yesterday to go to Texas, and so I'm in Texas. Do you need me to call 911 for you? And I'm like, oh, no big deal. And this was after I had done my own EMS self-assessment, and trying to knowing I needed help, but also knowing that I had a conscious mind and I wasn't bleeding out. I didn't feel like I was paralyzed or anything like that. So he called, or I was on the phone with him, and then maybe I was on the phone with him for 2 minutes at most. And then all of a sudden I poke my head up like this, and this golden doodle comes running over to me and is licking my face. And I'm like, oh, you're a good boy. Oh, you're a good boy. And and I see its owner come running at me. And he goes, are you all right? And he's got his phone up. And I said, no, I'm totally fine. And he goes,
really?
You're not fine. I remember him screaming at me, you're not fine. I'm calling 911. I said, and I tried, it was funny because he was panicking a little bit, and I felt like I had my wits about me enough. And I had to physically calm him down, because he was looking at me like, oh my God, this guy is gonna, this guy's gonna die. But yeah, it was it was slightly amusing. He was a hell of a guy too. He ended up sending me a get well. He was having a party down here, and there was like 20-30 people at his party, and ends up sending me a get well video from everybody in the party, and was a real great guy. So he ended up calling 911, and they stayed with me. They showed up, and I was a real asshole for some reason. They're wanting to, I had a Ghost Whisperer, a jacket like this on, and I'm like, God, this is a $300 jacket. Don't cut it. I was telling EMS not to cut it. I'm like, yeah, we can do this. I'm like, okay, here's what we're gonna do, and had them pull my arm out, this way, and I slid it out this way because this was a broken arm, and then they hit me full of morphine, and I'm laying on my back on the backboard with the seat collar on, and I'm sitting there trying to meditate and just trying to let them do their jobs after they got me out of my harness and on the backboard, and I happened to hear the heli coming in, and I went like this. I looked up, and I saw the heli, kind of coming this way at high altitude, and I looked over at the main paramed, and I said, "Is that heli for me? Are they coming for me?" And he says, "Yeah." I said, "No, call it off." I said, we don't need. I said, "I'm good." I said, I don't need a heli, and I'm thinking, I'm not paying for that.
Yeah.
Did they offer you any of that medicine you were talking about?
I literally called off my own heli ride and made these like 6 guys tout carry my fat ass out on the backboard. They literally had to put me back down because they were walking through sand, and 6 of them carrying me.
You didn't go on the helicopter?
No, they put me.
Yeah.
I called it off, and they did what I said, and hauled my ass out on a backboard and put me in the ambulance.
Well, you made them work for their money. That's nice.
I really did.
Wow.
I really did. I was, yeah. There was some weird stuff going on in my head, apparently.
Well, I don't know. I think I probably would have been in the same state of, I've done stupid things like that. No, I'm not paying for that. There's no way.
Yeah.
That's how cheap I am, I guess.
And then I find out it was free. It's like,
Yeah. Yeah. So dumb, but and then my son, I had called my son. He was down here with his friend, and I guess some more of the amusing parts is that they had, once they got on scene, they were, he drove his truck back. I'm like, okay, so grab my wing and grab my motor, make sure that you cover everything up and stuff my wing so that it doesn't get ripped, and was telling him how to do everything instead of just going with it. And they're going like this. They're taking selfies for their social media that says "dead dad," and so it was my son and one of his friends, and they met me at the hospital, and I'm all, I'm lined up with everything, and I'm finally coming to my faculties and understanding how badly hurt I was, and this one of my sons, who was they're both, this son was 17, and he was down here riding motorcycles with a buddy of his. That friend of his was taking selfies with me in the background, and he's like, "Oh, Drew's dad's gonna, is dying." And for Father's Day this year, in his graphic arts class, he created a mug for me that was a picture of me in the hospital with Jared going, clicking. So I thought it was pretty funny.
That's incredible. Fly Baby Fly PPG said, I can't see where it was, but he said something about much respect for you, brother. Much respect.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's like I'm good. Just send the helicopter back. Just carry
Yeah,
my
no
butt up.
problem. Get rid of it.
That's
And I
awesome.
could see it in the paramed's face, like, you effer. You wouldn't let me cut your coat. Well, first of all,
Hey Shane, what was the name of that medication you were talking about earlier?
the one that got me through
Triactin.
everything. It's
Triactin.
Triactin.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's Triactin. Yeah. I took a lot of that
I love
apparently.
it.
Wow. So you guys, if you always make sure you have some Triactin with you,
Yep.
if you're going to
Comes in
have,
all sorts of forms.
I've heard of some really good stuff.
Yep.
Wow. That is crazy. Will, did we miss any questions in the super chat? Or we,
There was yeah,
Sorry.
well, Fly Baby Fly was wanting to know, did you maintain pressure on the lines? Which obviously if you took a collapse, I mean, I guess that's what he's asking.
I'm going to say
Probably meant, is there pressure on the brakes? But he said, Shane said he looked up and, he was being pulled up by this draft and he looked up and the wing was coming down with all the lines dripping on top of him like that. So I can't imagine. I mean, it must have pulled you up so quick and then stopped. You kept on coming up.
it felt like I got hit with, it felt like boom, like instantly just got lifted, like my spine, like getting like a roller coaster ride almost, where you get pushed down into your seat with the G's. It felt like I got lifted so fast and I was like, what? And looked up and that's all I saw. I saw the wing folded, tacoed and center taco. And I had lines coming at me in my face and felt kind of that euphoria.
Right. So that's when you killed the motor, right? You saw the wings.
That right there was when I actually floored the motor before I had those in my face and tried to pull out of it and pump my brakes at the same time. And it was like no avail. I spun is what I did. And
maybe when you cut the lines there, I'm guessing they were already almost in your face. And then hit the gas, you probably cut the lines then. I'm guessing.
I'm thinking that too, because also too, you have that torque. And if you're up like this and you gun it, you're gonna, have that torque effect at that angle.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow, you are so lucky, my friend, to be alive and telling us your story. I'm just
crazy lucky. Yeah. But I celebrated. So the good news, just super quick, because I know it's probably coming to an end here, but super quick. I got myself to a point where, one of the reasons why I got into the sport was to literally, I saw one of the videos of people flying over the pyramids. I adventure travel quite a bit. I've done a lot of fun things in my life. And that was one of the reasons. And I ended up, over my anniversary of my crash, got to Egypt and got to fly over the pyramids and the Nile and Luxor and Minya, all sorts of all of that entire trip with Sky One. Yeah, right there. So
that's cool.
That was in October of this year. I rode a motorcycle, an adventure motorcycle, with another friend of mine, from Alexandria all the way down into Luxor and the Suez Canal for the first 10 days, and then flew from Luxor back to Cairo to meet up with all of the paramotor guys.
When you flew in Egypt over the pyramids and stuff, was that on your own equipment, or did you rent some equipment over there? Or?
No, I was too late to rent equipment, and I'm really happy I didn't, because it's kind of janky over there. But I ended up packing everything of my own over there.
Oh wow, I'd be scared to put my stuff on a plane, but okay, cool.
Yeah, I was too, but I learned a lot from doing it, and it was a pain in the butt coming back, because I had to unpack and repack and do all these things to get through each security checkpoint, and I was tired. My limbs are tired. My limbs are still insanely weak from the wreck, but it was well worth taking my own gear, because when you get over there to do that trip, you have a limited amount of time that you can be in the air. So they give you, if you've rented a machine, They give you 5 liters, and you can basically go up in the air for about a half an hour, get some cool pictures, and then come back and land. And then somebody else takes your wing, takes the motor and wing out and goes. Where I can buy as much gas as I wanted and fly as long as I wanted over there with my own equipment.
There's one more question there, Sean. See, was Para Ninja wanted to know how sharp and deep the dunes were.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I remember that. Okay.
Sharp and deep, the dunes. Tell me. Oh,
I guess how tall were the dunes?
Right. Was it
I
kind of flat like the beach, or was it like really
No,
dune-y?
they're definitely, so in that area, should I say, they are some steeper, it's not a huge expanse of massive amount of dunes. Are you talking? I apologize.
He's talking about the accident. The accident.
Okay,
Yes.
so the accident. That's where I was going. So it's that area has dunes that are tall and steep. The area does, but I wasn't over those dunes. This whole geographical area is a desert, and anywhere you go here within a 30-mile area, there's sand. And so it can be flat sand, and it can have dunes in certain areas. So that, to answer the question, I was at least, a mile, maybe less, away from maybe a half a mile from any significant dune. I was going towards the set, but then I made that right-hand turn and started coming back and going away from them to the flat golf course area, which sand is there, but not dunes. It's just flat desert. I hope that answers it.
Yeah, I think we're still trying to figure out what happened. I mean, that just sounds strange, especially if somebody else in the same area had the same thing. I wonder I mean, it sounds like it'd be cloud suck, but you said there's no clouds. You weren't up to cloud base.
No,
There's
so Brad from Southern Utah Paramotor, he and Vanya, he looked at it, and they're both, I trust both of them with the amount of research that they've done. And there is a cliff line that was maybe a quarter of a mile to my left. And then you've got the dam right there. And so I was kind of in this funnel of desert right there that I didn't really have a whole lot of choice of going through. And so our thought was, or their thought was that it's like a valley, and then on this side it's a raised a raised plate, meaning like plate tectonics kind of stuff. So it's a raised plate, like a cliff line that goes like this. And then it goes into desert over here, and then the lake way over here. And so the thought was that cliff line and that valley right there, which is quite tumultuous right there, that wind came in and popped me in some fashion.
You were in the Utah Triangle, because I was thinking, you got the Bermuda Triangle. You were in the Utah. I can't believe I was thinking that in my head. Then Plainfield said, "Oh yeah, he's in the Utah Bermuda Triangle," and I was like, I was just thinking the same thing.
I see John Wayne also said too, accelerated prop may have caught the loose lines and prevented inflation, because you are flying the Ozone Spider 3 28 meter, and I've flown a Spider before, and I've flown a Roadster, which is the heavier cousin of the Spider. And those things, they open up so quick. I mean, I went to an
We're
SIV.
almost done. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. So I know that they open up pretty quick. So I'm still lost at what possibly could happen. I guess we'll never know, but the big thing to think about is that you are safe and you are flying again. So definitely, thank God you're okay.
Yeah, I'm thankful. I'm grateful. I'm grateful to all the people that helped me through my recovery. especially to my family, man. I tortured my my immediate family, my kids and wife, and then all the people that have helped me along the way to just simply get me back in the sport and get me back, encourage me to open that wing up again and try it. So, and deal with me canceling on them because I kind of pussed out. So I did that
Try
a lot
acting.
for the last
Try
year.
acting.
Right.
Yep,
Yeah.
I
Take
did.
some.
I was like, I'm gonna wake up at 8. What kind of excuse can I make? Because I don't have any triactin.
Wow. Unbelievable. And I just looked at the time. I cannot believe we've been talking for an hour and 10 minutes already, hour and 9 minutes. Unbelievable. I mean, this just went by so quick.
Good.
Lots of questions, a lot of super chat going on here. Will, can you say hi to everybody in the super chat? Because I've been trying to look at the
Hi,
super
everybody in
chat,
the super chat.
and of course, that
That's
I should have
good.
known. I should have known Will was going to do that. We're
Yeah,
gonna be we're gonna
go
be spinning
ahead.
the spinning wheel of winning things. Will, if you want to say
Yeah.
hello to everybody, make sure that everybody is on
Winnie, Winnie.
the super or the spinning wheel.
All right, so we got Bonnie Sullivan, Franz, Bill HDP, Plainfield PPG, John Wayne, 555, Travis DuPont, PPG, the other Nick, James, CT Fly, Tommy Sutherland, Never Trust a Skinny Chef, Shane,
Tommy.
Para Ninja, Robert Taggart, Zach Colliard, Michael Jasper, Fly Baby Fly, your Dankies, what's up, man? Chris Altemeyer,
Thank you. How
Mike
you
Thompson, and Just Want to Fly.
Awesome.
Yay.
I think I saw
Dave.
earlier in the show that 555 said something about he did the same thing as Shane did and fell out of the sky and hit. We might need to get up with him and find out what his story is in the
I
future
totally
too.
missed that. Wow.
I think that's what I saw. I could be wrong. I'm an old grandpa, you know. Anyway, we're going to be doing spinning wheel of winning things, but before we do that, one of the things that I want to do is to remind you guys that if you do win, please go to podcastwinners.com. That will forward over to this right here. Make sure you have a account, log into it, and you got to add this to your bag. All right. Podcast winners. It costs you absolutely nothing. But when you go there, we'll be able to, see that you won something and get it out to you because we have the notes here. If I don't have your email address and your phone number and your address, we can't ship things out. So if you won something, please go to podcastwinners.com and fill out the form, follow everything, please. That way we can send it out to you. So if you haven't received anything or you haven't got anything in the last 2 weeks, make sure you fill out the form. Jade, don't worry, I do have you, so don't worry about that. Christopher, please get up with me about the .com. Just text me, and you guys can always text me 501-747-3558 and let me know that you did not get your spinning wheel of winning things. We'll figure out what's going on and get it to you. So please make sure you get up with us and fill out that form. Do we have another?
Louise posted that. I'm sorry I didn't mention. She is in the chat and she's on the wheel now too. Hey, Louise.
Okay. And what was it?
What?
I see something. David Proctor just said something. I don't have my glasses. What does it say? Sounds like you pulled off a nicely executed PLF. Well done, sir. Yes. The PLF, that's when you come down like this with your legs crossed and roll.
Alex, I have a question.
All right, you guys ready to spin the spinning wheel of winning things? Alex just said, how do I get on the spinning wheel? Did you
That's
say
it.
that?
I did. Yeah. You're on there now, Alex. That's how you do it. You say something in the chat.
Absolutely.
Right. That's right. You gotta say something. Say something. Just
All
type
right.
something in there. Something.
And also, too, we only have 11 thumbs up. How about we give it a couple of thumbs up before we spin this wheel? We'll watch this wheel
Yeah.
spin here. Look at this wheel
Ooh,
spin.
yay.
It's spinning awesomely.
Even names now.
So look at
Oh,
this.
it's going up.
Look at this wheel. It's spinning. It's not going yet. We got 12 thumbs up. That's awesome. We got 22 people watching and 12
Yay.
thumbs up. So
You
thank
have a lot of people who listen to the podcast, don't you?
That is true. We just checked our metrics. What was it? Just a week ago, and we had 62, almost 63,000 downloads and listened on our audio podcast, which is a different metrics from our video podcast. So we looked back at the video podcast, and it averages about, oh shoot, what was it? 30,000 views over the course of all of our audio or video. And also too, we also send out different ways that I can't see the other metrics. So I'm assuming that we've had about 100,000 people listen to us, if
That
not
was
more, that I don't know about, because I can't get all the metrics.
So cool.
And also too, Jim from Canada, he also rebroadcasts this show on his channel. If you want to rebroadcast this show on your channel, just get up with me the day after the show or tonight. Just email me at ppggrandpa@gmail.com. Let me know that you want, and I'll send you the link to download it. That way you can upload it if you want to. All right, we're up to 17 thumbs up. I'm very happy with that. We got 25 people watching. Let's go ahead and spin that spinning wheel of winning things
Right.
for a chance to win something for free. Don't know what it is yet, but we'll find out.
All right. Who's it going to be? Who do you think it's going to be? Who's going to win this time?
Yeah. Let's try to use our ESPN and figure out who's going to win.
Yes.
I'm going with Travis.
I'm going Zach Collard. Zach
Well,
Collard.
baby fly.
I'm
Bill
going to go with
H.
Ah.
or Mike Thompson.
I'm going to go with Alex Robinson, because usually the last person that jumps on it wins. So Alex is going to win. Bill H even said the same. Oh, he said great, Alex. Okay.
All right, we ready?
All right.
All right,
watch
let's
the
do
movie.
it.
Come on, Travis.
Spin the wheel, spin the wheel. Where she stops.
Zach Collard. Zach's
John
Raps.
Wayne says he's going with me.
Fly, baby fly.
Oh, wouldn't that be cool if it was Zach?
Yeah. He's my nephew, actually. I'm surprised he's on, but he owns a God, he's an awesome dude.
He said hi a couple of times to you. He said, great job, Uncle.
Oh, nice.
It's going to be Bonnie.
Come on, Bill H. I told you. Come
Oh.
on. He's going to keep going.
Bonnie again. Oh my goodness.
Bonnie, okay.
That's just
Cheers to
Nice.
Bonnie. Bonnie's the winner.
Yay.
Nice. Congrats, Bonnie.
All right, I wrote it down. You can clear the name. Sometimes you clear the name, and I'm like, who was it? Who won? Once again, guys, if you won something, Bonnie, I know you, so we're going to be talking tomorrow anyways. So just give me a call tomorrow, and we'll talk about this. But once
Damn,
again,
take my glasses off. You want to get
well, that's right. You got to do a quick thumbnail. Oh, yep. Do the thumbnail.
Well, right?
Is everybody on here? David Proctor, your video is off. Turn it on so you can be on the thumbnail if you want. You got 2 seconds. 1,000. 1,000. Okay, maybe he's not listening. All right. Oh, there you are. All right. Turn it sideways so we can see you now.
Ready?
All right.
1, 2, 3. We did it.
All right.
Oh,
Golf clap. Once again, guys, if you
thanks, Will.
if you have won something in the past, please make sure you go to podcastwinners.com to claim your prize. Log in, create an account, add this to your bag. Okay. Make sure you add it to the bag. When you use the contact form down here in the comment section, let us know, what did you win? What is your name that you use on YouTube? Because, maybe Bonnie Silly Bond Franz is not Silly Bond in real life. But if you are, now we know who you are. Also, too, if you did not know, we're going to be starting a nonprofit organization. And in the description down below, you'll be able to see it says runtothesky.org. It's we're not sure if that's going to be the actual name of the organization, but we have some really good organizations out there. Resurgence PPG, Project Airtime, really good. But what we want to do is we want to bridge the gap. You know, Resurgence PPG, they were on our show and they told us that they use $7,000 for each candidate, and that's to get them training, room and board, and a flight to and fro. And they get no equipment afterwards. So what we want to do is step in. So when you get your training or you're over with Project Airtime and you're like, this is what I want to do, we want to be able to get new or used gear, preferably new gear, for all this disabled vets that are out there that have trained but don't have gear. So that's what we want to do. We're going to be incorporating this and getting our nonprofit. So we do have, if you go over to runintothesky.com, it'll pop up and there'll be some QR codes that you can donate to. If you want to buy gift cards at paramotorarkansas.com, we will spend that money to go to the nonprofit and get that ball started. Anyway, oh, one more thing. DP donated $10 in the super chat. So DP, thank you very much. Also, my friend, give me a call tomorrow if you get the chance. I got something for you.
Thank you, DP. Let's vote.
And thank you very much, DP. All right. You guys have any other questions? Did we get everything answered?
An awesome show.
Awesome show. All right. We can continue talking on our after show. If you guys want to join us here on the panel and chat with us for the next 10 minutes or so, you're more than welcome to. And thank you very much, Shane, to share your... What's that?
Show
Yeah,
tomorrow night.
thank you very much, Shane, for jumping on the show and telling us this incredible story. And you are healthy, you are alive, you are flying. We're so happy that you're okay.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciate the opportunity, and hopefully, you know, somebody can learn from my mistakes. You know, which I guess the learning method would be, you know, hell, I don't know, take an SIV class. You know.
Take away, absolutely. Yeah, I think so. I know that I was flying for about 6 months before I took my first SIV course, and I was lucky enough during the SIV course to actually throw a reserve to feel what it feels like.
Yeah.
So we collapsed wings, asymmetrics, collapses. We pulled A-line collapses, B-line stalls. We've done all sorts of really cool stuff. And every time I go back, I do more and more and more and more advanced stuff. I think
that's awesome.
I think an SIV course a year is pretty good. I mean, you know, and every time that you get a new wing, go to the SIV course with your new wing, because
that makes sense.
Every class that I went to, I brought my newest wing for that year because I like to buy a new wing a year. Who doesn't, right? I mean, we're paramotor pilots. And I always get the 28 meters, but I went from a Spider, I'm sorry, the Roadster 3. Then I went to the Gen Vantage. I went to the APCO Lift EZR, and they all perform differently, which is weird. You know, you feel like if you're going to pull down and do an A collapse and let it go, or if you're going to do a spiral asymmetric, they're all going to feel the same. They're not. They are not. Skinny Chef Shane was on the chat, but I think he's gone. We went to one of the SIVs together and we did a horseshoe, which is very benign. We just take the A lines and we pull it down. It folds in the wing to look like a horseshoe, and it's very benign. Man, I pull those A's down nice like I did before in the last SIV, and that darn thing collapsed. I went into a riser twist. I'm like, what the hell just happened? And it was one of the scariest things that's ever happened to me.
Yeah.
I was on an SIV course. So if you guys get a new wing, please go to an SIV course with that wing to feel what it feels like when something like that happens. Shane, I can't wait for you to go to SIV course.
Yeah. I didn't mention this in the show, but I was using Egypt, my trip to Egypt, to either stay in the sport or just use that as my bucket list, checked it off and leave it. But you know, I keep gaining health and strength and confidence back. So I'm in. So I'm going to, you know, my next step is to start some of that better training, smarter training, should I say.
Absolutely. David Proctor, he was on our show and he posted in our group chat that his trims, was it his trims or what snapped? Was it his
I
trims?
don't understand.
Ooh, yeah.
His trimmer snap. So
Yeah.
it means a line.
No,
think
I
no,
was thinking
the
that.
actual trim, the actual part of the risers.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like recently, right?
Yeah.
And
Yesterday.
he had to balance out his other trim in order just to land.
Yeah. He said that he came in hot.
Yeah.
There you are, David.
Let me see if I can find the picture and I'll pull it
I am
up.
so glad that you
Yeah.
are okay too. Holy crap. That scared the crap out of us when we saw that.
Yeah, that was a little sketchy.
Little. That's crazy. And too bad Shane didn't have his thing on his GoPro. That would have been a Tucker Got video for sure.
Yeah.
But we're glad that you're good, Shane, and David. Thank goodness that you're good too. And all the mishaps that we've all encountered, I'm glad that we're all safe and alive. And
Yeah.
prayers to Joshua Marsh and his family. We definitely love you, and
I appreciate that.
Prayers.
Yep. Been
definitely.
that's man.
So this is the trim that snapped. Holy smoke! I mean,
Wow.
and it was fine when you did your pre-flight, right? I mean, everything was fine, and then it just snapped. Were you doing like barrel rolls or something? I mean, how did that just snap like that?
It wore over time. There
Oh.
was a little bit of wear on the trimmer before I took off. I saw a little bit of fraying. I just didn't think it would be a problem. It didn't look too bad. But yeah, about 45 minutes into the flight, no major G's, a couple of flat turns, a couple of wing overs, but no barrel rolls or infinites or anything crazy. But yeah, it just snapped on that side while I was flying it. And I had to asymmetric brake and pull down
Yeah.
hard on one side to keep it flying straight and bring it in and land it.
Damn. Hey,
130 hours or so on that
that makes
trimmer.
a certain portion of my body go like this really fast.
Mhm. Man.
It makes me think you're like trim in, trim out, trim in, trim out, trim in, trim out. Like
So I guess with David's thing, his takeaway is if you have any fraying of any of your buckles or belts or anything on your risers, don't go flying. Shane, you didn't see anything with your stuff when you did your pre-flight. It just looked like a normal flight and everything was good, huh?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, on mine, under 30 hours on the wing and equipment.
Interesting. There must have been some sort of something. Josh, are you leaving us?
I was wondering what was causing the fraying to begin with on David's trim.
I don't know. Let's ask him, and let's go ahead and say goodbye to Josh real quick because he's got to go. Josh, thank you so much for being here, buddy. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
We know what's been going on in your family, and you still made it here, so we appreciate you, buddy. And
I appreciate it.
definitely prayers to you and your family, bud.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Y'all have a good night.
You too.
Take care,
All right.
Josh. Thanks.
I'll take it easy.
All right, David, you said that there was some wear on it. Do you know what wore it originally? What happened?
Just the teeth on the trimmers on the Magic are really aggressive. So every time I'd go to release the trims, I'd feel a slight snag.
wait. That's a magic wing?
Yeah, that's the BGD Magic 29.
That's the wing I
got. Yeah. Well, just check your trimmers. Those teeth on the trims are really sharp, and it just eventually wore it and faded away.
Wow. Okay.
You know what you should put on there is some triactin.
Damn it, Sean. Zane,
my.
I'm sorry.
That is hilarious. Okay.
And then some duct tape.
Yeah, triactin and then some duct tape. Gotcha.
On mine, on the trims, oftentimes you talked about the teeth being sharp. I mean, I know why they did that, because on mine, I have the Colorado. On occasion, after launch, the trims will release, not all the way, but they aren't exactly where I put them on launch.
And
So-
how old is your wing? How many hours?
Gosh, what, 250 hours now?
250? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean,
Mine
I'm
made
sure.
it to about 130.
Yeah.
My
Well-
wing's got like 2 hours on it, if
Oh,
that.
you're good for a little while.
Yeah, I think I got a minute or two.
You got 4 hours at least before you have to start worrying, Steve.
Will, have you sent your wing in to get it checked? And if you did you tell them about the trims?
No and no. Yeah, I'm sure it's time. You know, I need a new line set, and but I mean, hey, I've replaced a lot of those lines already. But yeah, it's time for an inspection. Actually, I've said this over I don't know how long a period of time, but it's time for a new wing, most likely. So,
Well, there's still that Black Friday sale going on over at Paramotor, Arkansas, where you get $1,000 off your wing with training. So if you come over here for training with me,
yeah, I'd have to start all over though. How much fun is that?
Well, I got a silly question, because I always hear you guys talk about trims and lines, and I'm sure there's people out there like me, like, I don't understand what like if I walked up to the wing, I'd be looking at it going, okay, what's the trim, what's the line? You know what I mean? What are the lines? Like, do they all, when you buy your wing,
It's
it's
really
all
hard
there,
to,
the trims and the lines are all
I
ready to go?
actually
kind of thing?
have a
I'm-
couple of wings here. So let me go ahead and
Yeah, the
show you.
trims are kind of like a seat belt. They're the adjustment that changes the angle of attack on your wing. So whether you let your trims out or in, it's going to change the angle of attack of your wing so that you either go faster or slower. So if you bring your trims in for takeoff, it's going to be slower and give you more lift. And then that way, when you're flying, you can let them out to gain speed, or to land also. You'll have that speed, which helps you land so you can flare better.
It's like adjusting the flaps on an airplane. If you've ever looked out
There you go.
an airplane and looked at your wings on landing, how those flaps at the tail end of the wing adjust this way. It's kind of doing that same thing.
Oh,
So
Those
here,
trims,
so-
though, you instead of being cable oriented, you're adjusting those trims through some nylon that go up to the lines, the tail edge of your lines. So you're adjusting them here at your shoulders.
all right, so let me go ahead and show you real quick. I do have wings in here. I think I only have 8 wings in here right now. The others are out there. So on this one, this is actually the Roadster 3. So this is an ozone, and all the trims, all the sets look different. So we're just going to look at this set real quick. So this is the connection point. This is what connects to your carabiner right here. This toggle right here on the back, that's your brake toggle. This weird one right here, that's your tip steering. And then this big long thing right here are your trims. So
wow.
right now, if we say trims in, that's when we pull this and we pull it all the way in. When we let them out, we press this toggle right here, and then the trims are let out like that. And these are the teeth that David Proctor was talking about, or was that Will Fly was talking about?
Both of us.
Teeth. Got the teeth right there that hold this trim in place, and you only, when you push it, it moves. pulls in or lets it out. So when you say trims in, we're pulling them in, trims out, we're trimming out. And that's all sitting right here on the very front of your wing. You got your A's at the very front. And just like they said, it pulls it down or lets it out and changes the angle of attack.
David, oh, you're walking off. Darn it. I wanted to ask you something on the Magic, because on mine, I don't know how yours is. My trims are covered. They have like this black nylon covering around the trims, so I can't even see the adjustments. I have to feel for them and adjust it. Is yours that way, or did you take that off?
It was that way, but I ended up just pulling them up over top of the metal buckles so that I could see and feel
Okay, that makes
the
sense.
actual
I
trim.
just, because I was like, you can't see it on your where it showed it was broken, so I figured, oh, what happened?
Yeah, and the other side is pretty seriously frayed. It's it probably was just about to go as well. The right one just happened to go a little bit quicker.
Very interesting. We
Well, Sean helped me out earlier. For those of y'all that don't know, if you have a helmet and you have those Peltor ear cups, I thought my ear cups would not pop out. I was trying everything, and I'm like, these things won't pop out. And they were like, oh, you just need to pull harder. So these things, if you grab hold and pull hard enough, it'll click out. But I've been walking around all this time deaf because I couldn't hear anybody. I'm having to hold the ear cup out, and they literally will pop out. I couldn't get mine to pop out. I was scared I was going to break it. You had to pull the crap out of those to pop them out. But yeah.
You can also rotate them too, right?
Mine don't seem to want to rotate. At least they show that you can rotate them, but I don't.
I know mine. I can go like this and rotate them back to just behind my ears right there like that.
Oh, that would be nice, but
yeah, you should be able to just pop when you pop them off like this. You can rotate these forward and backwards, but you got to be careful too, because this is actually a student one. What I wanted to do is basically say, when you buckle your buckle and you are flying, how tight do you have it there, and how in the world does it come off in a crash when it's still buckled? Obviously.
wow.
My buckle slipped. My buckle went punk. So it's not a great buckle, but it basically came when I looked over at my helmet, for my one picture. I had the chin strap was loose. Funny thing, I'm still using the helmet.
Oh my goodness. Want to say hi to Carlos, joined our audio stream through Podbean. So Carlos, welcome. If you want to watch us, go to iflyparamotors.com and you'll be able to watch us live.
Why do I do that when you say, when you know that people are listening, right? And then like they can see me, so I'm waving. Oh.
Do what? Do what?
When you're saying, we have our listeners, the people that are just listening while they're driving or whatever, and you start talking, I automatically start waving like they can see me. You know what I'm saying?
So anyone that's listening to us, we talked about this a little bit before. We know on the audio podcast we have almost 63,000 downloads and listens.
Yeah.
We also have the audio and on a different one, we got the videos. So all the people that listen to our show, we just want to say thank you so much for listening to us. And if you're still listening to us after, 2.5 hours, man, you're cool. We love you. Because I tell you what, after the show, I don't go back and listen to my show for 2.5 hours again. I'm telling you, I don't.
Yeah.
John, I knew your voice long before I saw you on video. So, I mean, most of the time I would listen. I just like tune in to the podcast, Apple Podcast, and as I was driving, listening, and Linda, same thing. Yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
I knew Linda's voice.
And then Will said, when I grow up, I'm going to be like Sean.
Well, now Will's on two podcasts. Well, three actually, I'm sure, because you've been
I
on.
wanna be like
right?
Sean.
So Will is on Peter's Your Grandpa's Paramotor podcast on Mondays, and on Tuesdays, what do you and Shane get to do?
Me, Shane, and Mark McElroy get together and we talk paramotors or anything else that comes up. You know, it's kind of an open forum, open topic. You never know what we're going to end up talking about. We're subject to talk about first, we're going to talk about paramotors, but after that, it could be cooking, it could be relationships, it could be, I mean, you just have no idea. It just kind of evolves as the night goes
Very
on.
true. Yeah.
Yeah, it depends on how much, each one of us has had to drink too. I'm sure that has
I was
something to
gonna
do with it.
say whiskey. That's always a great topic.
He's only on 2. I thought Will Fly was on like 4 different paramotor shows. I don't know.
Oh, man.
Scuba gets around.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
I don't get around. Will Fly gets around. Every time I do go to different paramotor shows, but every time I go, Will Fly's right there.
Why he's will fly.
It really is. You go to paramotorpodcasts.com, you'll be able to come here and you'll be able to see that you got Clear Prop TV on Mondays. On Tuesdays, you got Tuesday night hangouts or Tuesday night paramotor hangouts. And you can see the link right here, ppgshane.com. On Wednesday, you got Just Want to Fly at Paramotor Girl. Paragliding Talk
.com.
with your amazing host, Robert Michaels at
That's right.
paraglidingtalk.com.
My awesomest son. That's right.
Anthony Vella did the Paramotor podcast years ago. He's actually the one that I listened to when I first wanted to fly. And
That's
also to Cloud-Based Mayhem with Gavin, a really good one. Even though they are paragliders, they have lots of amazing, lots of amazing information. So Gavin's really good too. So make sure that you check out paramotorpodcast.com and check it out.
That's the name. I remember last week we were talking and I was trying to remember who John French was trained by. It was Anthony Vella. I couldn't remember the name.
Oh, Anthony Vella trains? I didn't know he trained. I thought he just
Yeah.
did the podcast and went out and
No,
flew.
he was training.
Oh, nice. I know Kyle O, he trains. Oh, is he still training? I haven't talked with him.
Oh yeah, he's still training. I trained with Kylo and he's been training. He hasn't done as many videos lately. He's been doing a lot of stuff around the airport, trying to get the looking better and stuff and work around the house, but I'm sure he'll be right back into it once it warms up a little bit.
That man does not know how to take it easy. I'm telling you, he's a
He does
workaholic.
not.
He's always he's got 10 things in the fire going at once, but I kind of think that's what makes him happy. I think he enjoys the working hard and
He's
stuff.
got
So
the radio voice though. He's got the voice to do a podcast and to do infomercials and commercials. Anthony is the bomb diggity. Haven't met him in real life, but we had him on the show. Really good guy.
Can he overlay on any pornos? That's the real aspect. I'm totally kidding. Boom, boom, boom. So on that note, I've got to leave, guys. I've got some people here waiting for me at the house here, but I wanted to thank you a ton for letting me be on the show and awesome to meet all of you.
yeah, same here.
Excelente. Yeah, thank you so much, Shane. We appreciate
Thank
you.
Shane.
And I see in your thing here it says Shane Collard, adventure driven. I love it.
I try to, enjoy life as much as possible in every way, shape, or form. Usually has to do with motors, so that's the driven.
There you go. You're welcome back anytime, Shane. Just
Awesome. I'd love to be
On
back.
Monday?
It was fun.
yeah,
Fun to
just
chat with
come
you
on
guys.
and hang with us. Yeah.
Yeah,
All right, we'll do it.
Like David Proctor, he's on the panel, Scuba Steve, Jim, Will Fly. I mean, we're anytime that you are a guest, you get to be on the panel.
I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. I'll watch and swing on by again. Thanks a
Yeah,
ton,
you're
guys.
a natural, Shane. You're a natural.
I
You
don't know
are
about
Sharing
that.
your story.
You are natural.
Take care,
Yeah,
guys. Thank
I'll
you so
laugh.
much. Appreciate you guys and
Absolutely.
appreciate all you're doing.
All right.
Have a great
Hey,
evening. Thank you so
We'll
much.
see you.
Hey.
Take care, guys.
Thanks,
Bye.
Shane.
Shane is awesome. If you guys haven't seen it, look down. He has a bio and some links. And you can always go over to paramotorguest.com and look back at all the different guests that we've had, watch their show, look at their bio, check out their links, and get up with them and say, hey, I saw you on the show. You talked about blah. Let me ask you some more questions. So you're more than welcome to do that. You guys probably need to go. I need to go. It's almost 9 o'clock. So let's go ahead and say goodbye to everybody.
Yeah.
Get your 5 minutes of fame right here.
Bye. Oh,
Can you tell everybody your,
5 minutes of
where they
fame.
can find you? You know what I haven't done? I don't think I've said anything ever about me and who I am and what I do on here.
Yeah, who are you, man? Where'd you? What?
I mean, I think you guys know me, but I don't think I've ever said it. My name is Sean Symons, also known as PPG Grandpa. I run a school called Paramotor Arkansas over here in Arkansas. We're starting a nonprofit organization too to help out to bridge the gap between Resurgence PPG and Project Airtime. Hopefully that's going to be rocking and rolling over the next couple of weeks. And hopefully by sometime this next year, we'll be full power and rock and roll, helping disabled vets and other people that need gear to get gear and help them to run into the sky. Actually, you can go to runintothesky.org and you'll be able to donate and help us get this ball rolling. Anyway, our official sponsor is Jim Simard. Am I saying that right? Simard right? Am I saying Simard right?
You betcha.
I know. Travis DuPont, right? Did I say that one right? See,
Very
I'm
well
getting it.
done.
Slowly but surely, I'm getting it right. But anyways, Jim from Canada, he is our official calendar. He's our official knucklehead from Canada. that runs
ppgcalendar.com. Oh,
that does our ppgcalendar.com. He runs Care Printing and Publishing. So it's carepp.com, but you can always see his crazy shenanigans at careppg.com. Walter just said, good day, Pair Family. Tomorrow is on his way, guys. Since he's already tomorrow, I'm glad I can go to sleep knowing that I will be able to wake up tomorrow. Jim, tell us a little bit about your company, how we can get those decals, and what the hell is a decal? And tell us more about voting on Paramotor pictures for a calendar that's coming up.
Yeah, if you want some printing done, stickers, whatever you'd like done, connect with me through carepp.com or with my team. And you can also connect, actually to care or ppgcalendar.com. Go there and vote on the pictures for the next calendar, for the 2023 calendar. And you get to do 3 votes per day. And voting is going to go until the 12th, the end of the 12th. So I hope that you guys are able to log on there. If you have any troubles, connect with me and let me know so that we can get it figured out and make sure that we get them voted. And there's some pretty awesome pictures, pretty cool pictures. So please enter your selections.
yeah, that's in 6 days. So make sure y'all vote this December 12th for people listening on the podcast. So you got 6 days to go and vote.
Absolutely. And we're going to say it again next Monday, the 12th. So we'll have our last minute votes coming in. And also, too, it looks like we're going to be, look at all these amazing pictures. These are awesome. So when is the next one going to be available where we can upload pictures? And how is that going to work?
Yeah, I should be able to get that going soon. Just need some time.
Oh, you got a page can't be found, it looks like.
You bet. I took it off because I wanted people to focus on the voting.
Oh.
He knows where it is, is what I'm saying. You know where that page is, I'm sure.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, Jim, for helping us out. And also, too, you'll be able to buy your calendars over at paramotorcalendar.com. All right. Who's next? Will Fly?
Okay. Hey, you pronouncing the names right. We got to get you to pronounce the state you live in right. I'm pretty sure it's Arkansas.
Arkansas.
Yes.
Or is it Arkansas?
I,
Arkansas. Just like
You know what?
Illinois. Why does Illinois have a S at the end if you're not supposed to pronounce it? You know?
I know, and when you hear people say Illinois, it just makes your skin crawl.
I lived in
Well,
Grand Prairie.
Only because I lived in Illinois, because because I lived there, I know how to say it. Probably if I didn't live there, I might have said Illinois.
Yeah, do you say Nevada or Nevada?
I think I say Nevada.
I think it's supposed to be Nevada, but I think I pronounce it Nevada too.
I think I say
Well, let's
Nevada.
just take the,
Yeah.
we
Nevada
can take
and
the
Nevada.
last couple letters off my state. So I live in Virgin State. Yeah. Virgin State.
Virgin State.
Yeah. Yeah. Virgin. Just take the last part off. You know, it's silent. There you go.
Okay. And Will Fly, you got a lot of cool stuff going on. You got Just the Tip. You got, what is it, paramotortips.com. You got willflyppg.com. You do a lot of .coms, man. You do more
I
.coms.
know.
I do, man. I don't know how you do that.
I learned from the master. As a matter of fact, the .com I have came from the master, Sean Symons. If it weren't for him, I wouldn't have willflyppg.com. So yeah, you can check it out. The videos I do. If you go to willflyppg.com, it'll take you to my YouTube page, or you can go to Will Fly on YouTube. Either way, check it out. We got a show coming up tomorrow night too, Sean. Tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern. It's Shane and Mark McElroy and myself. So yeah, check that out. It's called Paramotor Hangout.
So let me ask you something real quick. Do you have topics that you talk about, or you just start talking and it comes out?
Usually the format is it's just kind of a catch up what's happened in the week, paramotor related, and then we'll talk personal stuff. But we usually have one particular paramotor topic per week, and then kind of take it from there.
And to be able to go and check that out right away, you go to ppgshane.com.
That's it, ppgshane.com. It'll take you to the show.
Why face planting hurts.
Yeah.
That's a good topic. Do you guys let anybody else in, like guests or anything on your show, or other people to join you, or is it just you three, or how's that work?
No. We certainly have other people come on if they're interested. Just PM me or DM me or whatever. Just message me. And yeah, absolutely. The more the merrier.
Excellent. I do want to say thank you very much to Will Fly. He does so much in the background. He puts all of your names on the spinny wheel of anything. He does so much for us, and we definitely appreciate him.
Yeah.
And if you haven't done so already, in the super chat, say thank you, Will Fly. You are the bomb diggity.
They're the bomb diggity.
You are the bomb diggity, and we appreciate that.
Real nice of you to say, but I guarantee I get a lot more out of these shows than anyone else, I mean, I really enjoy hanging out with my paramotor buddies.
We definitely appreciate you. Also, too, we got Miss Linda Anderson. She is our PR girl. She is another amazing person that I could not do without. If you go to paramomusa.com, it forwards over to her Facebook page. If you want to be on the show or on the panel, just say, "Yo, Lindy, what's up? I want to be on PPG Grandpa's Paramotor Podcast, Clear TV, paratalk.org." And I'll just hang out with you guys. So how does that work? I go to paramomusa.com. It forwards over to your Facebook page. Obviously, you got an awesome Facebook page. I PM you and I say, "Hey, I want to be on the show." What happens after that?
And then I just I get all excited. I'm like, oh, yes, you have to be on my show. And then I see who it is. I do my little research and then I'd be like, oh yeah, I know who that is. And then I just get on there and I message them and say, hey, it's Paramom, and so I don't scare them when I get on there. Be like, who is this? And and just kind of do my thing. I'm not gonna give out my secrets, of course,
Excellent.
I do it how I do it. But I have to say really quick, don't forget to check out. I always make my notes because I get all crazy, whatever.
Right.
But Eric Devere put an event calendar out. and he's still working on it, but it's a USPPA calendar, and it's usppa.org, and just get on there and scroll down, and you'll find me on one of the thumbnails for, I'm like the representative for Torchport next year. So you'll see my little thumbnail on there, and pretty exciting. It made me feel really special.
Did you paint your nails pretty so we can see your thumbnail nice and pretty?
I know. It'll get you a little manicure. Yeah. So
Awesome.
yeah, check it out. It's pretty cool. It's still in the works and everything, but I got to see it last week, and I was really surprised because he's like, "Go check it out," and I had no idea. All of a sudden, there I was, and so it's kind of cool, guys. So check it out, and it has all the dates and everything of all the fly-ins coming up for the summer, and help me out, see who's going to be on the road and who isn't and all that stuff, right? So
Right.
want to give a shout out to Eric and say thank you very much.
Excellent day. Thank you very much, Miss Linda. We definitely appreciate everything you do. This show would not be going on if it wasn't for you. So
I just
thank
have
you
so
very much.
fun.
It's a team. It's a team. You are a very important part of the team. We got an excellent team,
Yeah.
and
Thanks for
I
building,
don't want to
man.
take away from anybody else. Like Scuba Steve,
No.
you excellent. Thank you, and David
Yeah.
jumping on here. Jim's always on here. Will
Love
Fly. We got an excellent team, and I appreciate everybody. Linda, definitely appreciate you with being able to get all these people in here. What is that? I got a new watch. I got the new Apple Watch.
Oh, I thought maybe your cookies were coming out of the oven or something.
All sorts of weird noises.
Sean, I'm letting you know now. One of these times when you land, it's going to say, "It seems like you've suffered a great fall. Do I need to call emergency?" I'm telling you, because it already did it to me. Do we need to call emergency services? No, I'm good.
When I come in for a landing, it's like a butterfly.
Oh, you might be all right then.
Yeah. It says, "Are you a butterfly?" Yes, I am. So thank you, Linda, for everything you do. I appreciate you. And we also, of course, got Scuba Steve. Who would we be without Scuba Steve?
I'm just the mouth of the South over here. You can look me up. I'm paramotordude.com. That'll take you to my YouTube channel, or you can look up Scuba Vapes. I had Jade, just want to fly, and Deweese on this past. I do a show every Friday night, 8 to 10 Eastern. It's mainly about vaping, but we did talk about paramotors. I think it was a 4-hour show Friday. What? 3-hour show. My bad. And we had Deweese and Jade on there, and we were just on there having a good time and talking about paramotor stuff. But yeah, come check it out.
What's the name of the show?
It's Scuba's Hangout, believe it or not. I was like, somebody's got Paramotor Hangout. Yeah, it's been Scuba's Hangout for 10 plus years, but yeah, it's mainly about vaping. I have not separated the whole vaping and paramotor thing yet. If I do, once I get more flights in, I'll probably make a whole separate paramotor channel, which will really simplify things. So I may do that in the future. But right now it's just kind of mixed together.
Or you fly and you vape at the same time.
Well, I already do that.
Well, there you go.
You can't see it though. As soon as you vape it, you're going 20 something out, it goes right behind you. You can't even see it on the camera.
I'm wondering, when on no wind days, do you vape to see which way the wind's going?
Exactly. It is like the perfect windsock. You blow it out, as long as you don't blow, you blow straight up and see which way the vapor goes, and then you're like, okay, that's where my wind is.
I wonder who else does that. If you guys are still in the super chat, obviously 16 people are.
I know Shane does, but he left. Yeah, not a skinny chef.
Who else uses some sort of smoke to check for wind in the morning on no wind?
I do that pretty regularly. Yeah.
There you go. The DP.
Scuba's Hangout. Is that what you said?
Scuba's Hangout. Yep. Scuba's Hangout.
I see Scuba, and then I see Vapes. Scuba Vapes.
Scuba Vapes. That's my channel. But Paramotor Dude will take you to Scuba Vapes. But yeah, that's my YouTube channel.
So go to paramotordude.com so we can see where you are, see your channel, and watch your show. Obviously, nobody called me and said, "Hey, Sean, we're doing a really cool show. It's vaping."
Hey, I'll bring you on there anytime you want. Well, if you was awake, I don't know.
Grandpa goes to bed early. I tell you, it gets dark here at 5 o'clock, and I tell you by 6, I'm like, I'm going to bed. Matter of fact, I told my wife, I was like, if I didn't have this the podcast to do tonight, I'd go to bed right now, but I got to go.
There you go.
And then I said, as I always do, it's just going to be an hour show. 2.5 hours later, we're still on. And 3 hours later, here we are, 7, 8, 9. So it's crazy. Yeah, there we go. We did a 3-hour show, just like you, but
There you go.
we love 3-hour shows. So, anyways, thank you very much. When is your show going to? When are you going to be a guest on this show? When are you?
I'm supposed to be a guest in January, but if I can't fly anymore, I'm going to be a really weak guest. I almost want to push
Oh,
it.
Lord, here we go.
Well,
We have you down for January 2nd. And so, dude, you're just going to have to suck it up.
yeah,
and-
Paramotor dude, suck it up, man.
Acting.
I need some triactin for sure.
yeah, exactly. So, sorry, you're already committed.
Yeah, sorry,
I
dude.
know. I
Sorry,
know.
ParamotorDude.com.
Fine,
You-
I'll
you're
just-
stuck.
Right? No turning back now.
Put some videos on loop or something. I can run my mouth. I could have 0 videos or pictures and still run my mouth, so we're good.
That's you. You have a
Oh,
great
not you.
mouth to run on the show, so something tells me that we'll be doing pretty good.
Yeah, I think we'll be all right.
Yeah, we'll be all right. Just get out there and fly when it's cold. That way we get a couple of good
I'm
videos.
ready. I got
Oh, yeah.
heated jacket, heated gloves. I'm good. I just need to heal up a little bit, and I'm gonna be right back out there trying again.
That's right. Don't rush it,
deal.
old man. You
Yeah,
don't need
old
the
man.
accidents. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Damn old age.
Sorry, what are we gonna do with you?
This sounds like the after show, but we're still on the air. So let's go ahead and say goodbye to David and get out of here. David, thank you so much for hanging out with
Thanks,
us.
David.
Do you want to say anything, or you want to stay on mute? Yeah,
Nothing really to add. You guys have a good one. I'll see you next week.
excellent. Thank you so much
Sounds
for hanging
good.
out with us, buddy.
Safe.
You
Thanks for
guys are
scaring me
awesome.
about the magic wing too. And now that I'm like, oh crap, I need to check my trimmers every day now. Well, I was gonna do that anyway, but
Yeah, we can talk about that more later if you want. Just hit me up, and
okay.
I'll send you some pictures on what the other riser looks like and kind of what to look for.
Okay.
Maybe
Great.
Scuba Steve can bring David Proctor back on your show on January 2nd and talk risers and stuff too.
There you go.
Yeah,
All
there
right.
you go. There you go.
We're gonna call it an evening. If you guys need to go ahead and go, but we're gonna do an after show privately and talk about some stuff. So if you need to go ahead and go. We appreciate you guys. Any words of wisdom from anybody before we say goodbye to everybody in Paramotorland?
Triactin.
Try
Birds are walking, it's probably a bad day for flying.
if what, Jim?
If the birds are walking, it's probably a bad day for flying.
I never thought of that, but that's excellent. That's
Yeah.
excellent. If the birds are walking, don't go fly. You know what my rule is? If my hat flies off because of the wind when I'm out in the field, I don't fly. So that's my rule.
Oh, that's one way. Yeah.
My rule is if the wind blows my wing over, I won't fly.
Hmm.
What do you mean if it blows it over? Like you have it up in a wall and it blows it over, or
It blows the back, it blows the leading edge, the trailing edge up over, or deforms the wing.
oh,
Yeah, I mean, not that I can't fly. It's just that that's just kind of what I go by.
excellent.
That'd be
And
safe.
There's what you can do and there's what you want to do. After a point, it's no fun to just go up and be bounced around and
You'll
Yeah.
be a long, healthy pilot. Staying nice and easy, not going up when the weather is not good, and checking. I also have rule 2 that if I fail 3 launches, something is wrong and I don't fly that day. Something is wrong. I don't know what it is. It is my equipment, my head. I don't know. But that's happened twice in my career so far. I went out there, failed 3 launches. All right, I'm done. I don't know what happened, but I want to be safe too. All
I don't
right.
have anything special to say, like nothing special like what Jim just said, but I will say fly safe, stay humble, but have fun.
Absolutely. It's all about the fun.
Really good.
There you go.
Excellent. All right, we're going to kill the live streams so we can chat a little bit. If you want to stay, you're more welcome to stay. If you cannot, have a great evening, and we'll see you
Thank you,
tomorrow
chatters.
over at ppgshane.com, on
Much
Wednesday
love.
over at paramotorgirl.com, and then on Thursday, paraglidingtalk.com. Y'all
Right.
have a wonderful evening, and thank you so much for listening to PPG
Thank
Grappa's
you. Love
Paramotor
y'all.
Podcast. This is episode 148 with Shane Collard, and we'll see you next week when we have we don't have anybody next week.
Remember what we have
So
planned?
next week we have a special plan out there.
It's a surprise.
Don't say anything.
You
So
don't give
we'll-
away the secret.
Don't give away that secret. I forgot we have it on
We
there.
have to keep
It's gonna be
those
really awesome. Please make sure that you are here next week.
in.
Are we gonna have another, what do you call it, a word of the day or word of the week for next
Yeah,
week?
we're still on. Yeah.
Oh, that's special medicine.
Huh? Oh, there we go. Yes, the special medicine that we just talked about all night tonight. That's going to be the code to win something special next week.
I've already forgotten what that was. Oh,
Hey, guess
I
what? It's
remember
cool. You
now.
can- don't worry, you can rewind.
I
Hey,
remember.
how old are you if you remember Be Kind, Rewind?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I know how old I am.
Oh my
I
God, I'm
remember.
old.
You're having to pay a special fee if you didn't, you know?
Yep. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Yeah, kids nowadays, they don't
I
know.
Forgot about that.
We had a picture of something, and one of the kids was like trying to zoom in on the picture. We are living in a very interesting time, folks. But anyways,
Wow.
thank you again, guys, for listening. We got 13 people watching. So we love you, the last 13 people that are watching, and the 20 people that
love.
gave us thumbs up. You guys are awesome, and we'll see you next week.